You brought some friends like show and tell.
I know. This is so exciting for me. We have Pastor Dennis Aggrey. He's been working with the Christian Revival Church Association in Liberia. So thank you so much, Pastor Aggrey, for joining us this morning.
Thank you. I'm delighted.
Yeah, you've come a long way. We have a lot to talk about this morning.
Thank you.
You've been, first of all, you've been in the States since end of September, so more than a month.
Yes.
So I know a lot of people are worried about Ebola right now. The incubation period there is only up to 21 days. So you've been here longer than that.
Far
so
longer than that.
We know you're healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been here for the month. What's it been like watching all of this unfold over the past month as this crisis kind of escalates in Liberia?
Somebody used a word, said, this is what we call fearbola. I don't know whether that's a word. There's a lot of fear going on around. There's so much statistics coming up about what's happening in Liberia. But every time I'm talking to my folks, I have a lot of pastor friends that I'm working with and church members that I'm working with. It's a little bit different from what's on the news. Yeah.
So you're going to be going back in November, but your family's staying here. Is that because of Ebola?
Yeah, because the hospitals are shut down, many of the hospitals are closed down, clinics are closed down, and so people are even dying of other illnesses apart from Ebola. So if my kids, I have a 3 years old and a 1 year old, so if they were to get sick, it would be difficult to get treatment even if it was just ordinary malaria. So that's why we were advised by a real good doctor, a missionary doctor, that they should wait till when the hospitals are opening up, then they can come. So we're hoping that by December, they will be joining me back in Liberia.
Wow. And I know you have an amazing ministry in Liberia. You oversee pastors in 96 thriving churches, which is just incredible. And you work very closely with Water of Life, which is based right here in the Carolinas. And we have the founder of Water of Life with us this morning, Roland Bergeron. So thank you, Roland, as well for joining us. Roland, why don't you talk a little bit about how pastors like Dennis can use drilling wells and bringing fresh water to actually help them share the gospel as well?
Well, I mean, if you go all the way back to the beginning, Jesus didn't just go and tell people about himself. He actually did things for people. He healed people, he fed people, and everything else. So what we do with the Water of Life is to provide a clean water to a village that doesn't have any clean water. So we're doing something for them physically. I call it, we earn the right to be heard. And so we go in with CRCA, we go and meet a very critical physical need of clean water, and CRCA comes alongside of us and is able to tell people about Jesus and plant a church. And it's a beautiful partnership that really, really works well.
That's awesome. And I know, Pastor Dennis, you're speaking at an event that's going on tonight with Water of Life. If anybody wants to learn more, they can go to givefreshwater.org to learn more about that. You know, and I was just reading, Pastor, almost exactly a year ago, you would have been tied to a tree at this moment.
Yes.
Because you had, tell us this story. It's absolutely incredible.
This is a village called Malawi, up north in Lofa. It was like the center of animism, traditional religion. We had planted a church there, a thriving church. We had adults, elders that were part of this church. And then all of a sudden, a group of them said, we don't want the church here anymore. So when we went in, they were really angry with us, saying, we said we don't want the church here anymore. We had a structure built, we did water wells there, pump water from the valley up into the heart of the village. A lot of things. We worked there for 5 years. And now, well, we don't want the church here anymore because many of their core members were now becoming Christians and they didn't want to be involved in a secret society. So they were threatened by that we're losing our people. And it is because of this church being here, because of Christianity. So we don't want the church. So when I went in and said, this is wrong. We've been here all these years. If these people say they want to follow Jesus Christ, you should allow them to do that. And that was when they got angry. They tied us up. A friend of mine and me, they tied us up and we were tied for 3 days. There was a lot of people running around. By that time, Roland was in the country, in fact, in Liberia. So he was in the city. He knew I was up there and I was tied up. So all of them started running around. Blessedly, the UN soldiers came and rescued us when there was a lot of crying around the country about what was happening.
Wow. Were you afraid going through that?
We were not really afraid because we were expecting such a reaction. In fact, we were expecting we may not come back.
Wow.
But we just thought, this is not right. This is a country, Liberia, a constitution that said there's freedom of worship. Besides that, we've been here, we didn't come here forcefully. You accepted us. How can you just turn overnight because your people now don't want to be a part of the secret society? So because of that, we were not pleased with that. And we said, even if it means our life, you have to lift the ban. And then we were expecting the government people to really support us in this because besides the fact that we have built relationship with these people, you have the Constitution to back us. But unfortunately, that didn't work out because the government officials were bowing down to the authorities of the secret society. So we went through the pain and it's still going on. The church in our area is closed down. About 5 other villages that the church was started were closed down. And we did not only the plenty of churches, but we did water ministry. We drilled wells in those places. We carried medical teams in. We did a lot of work there. And so even though the buildings were taken, even though they told the people in those villages not to worship, they still walk for 2-3 hours to another village where they have the freedom to worship. So we still have Christians that are living their lives even though they can't worship in those localities.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, Roland, why is it so important that you partner with pastors that live and, are Liberian?
Well, in Liberia, for instance, there's 13 tribal languages, so there's no way that I could go over there and learn 13 tribal languages and share the gospel in all the tribal languages. So just from a simple communication issue, it's very, very important that you work with the local people. Also, I don't know the customs and the traditions and all the superstitions and the laws of Liberia, so for an American to go over there and try to really participate in the culture, it's not possible. You could spend most of your life and still not learn it. And that's why we partner with local people like Dennis Aggrey, because he was born and raised there. He understands that. He knows that. He speaks 2 or 3 Liberian languages, and there's people in his churches that speak all 13 languages. So when we go into an area and they're speaking Pele, that he can send along pastors who speak Pele and who understand that culture and those traditions and can share the gospel effectively.
Well, it seems like God is really blessing your ministry. I mean, 2013, more than 45,000 Liberians were given fresh, clean water through 57 brand new wells with water of life and your work. So thank you so much for joining us. And we will keep praying for you as you head back to Liberia and praying for the success of Water of Life. And again, if anybody wants more information, you can just go to givefreshwater.org. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.